What is up, fellas? Good to see you in chat, Mr. Galunas. Just trying to get the link posted because tonight is open phone lines, open topics. Good to see you in chat, Mr. Galunas. Got my video open in the background. Good stuff. There we go. Yeah, I really wanted to do the religion episode this week. Yes, that is the Zoom link, so you can call in. Open phone lines, open topics. Feel free to call in, talk about whatever. If it's history related, that's a major plus, but honestly, feel free to talk about whatever tonight. I can check that out if you want. That's cool. I wanted to talk about religion this week. I wanted to do that, but I've had a crazy busy week, and I just haven't had enough time to fully prepare for the episode. And I dedicated all of the free time I did have to preparing for that episode, so I don't have any other episode prepared for this week. So, yeah. I have one little video I was going to show you guys a little bit of and talk about a little bit. This is one of those like the Google Earth, guys who find stuff on Google Earth and then travel to it and explore it. This site is a known site. He did not discover this site. This is known. Geologists have studied it and written papers about it. They claim it's natural. They claim there's an explanation to this. But, I mean, you're seeing what I'm seeing here. And that's pretty remarkable stuff. And you'll see some even more remarkable features in this video. Like there's a block missing right there. Not sure how nature, even if they form these blocks, not sure how nature would just pick one of those blocks up and remove it from the middle of the other blocks. So, Hawaii comet last night? I don't know anything about that. Tell me about the Hawaii comet last night. And I'm not sure what's a bit Greek, but the Carolina Bays, yeah, and the meteor impacts, that's pretty interesting stuff. And I mean, I believe that's recognized by the mainstream now, or at least some of the mainstream recognizes it. So, but the video in the background is just one example of, one of many channels doing this thing where they look on Google Earth and find a site and go out and travel to it. And again, this site is already previously known. This is, I think, even somewhat of a tourist destination. But they are, at least some of these channels, finding things that are, not really recorded, or at least not easily searchable. Not that no one's ever found any of this stuff before, but they're not known sites really. So I think it's really cool. There's a ton of these channels. They're uploading constantly. Like I think that's a cool section of the internet. So what is Eric, give me a summary of this video it looks like it's a short, so maybe I should just play it, because if it's only a minute long. But yeah. Feel free to call in, fellas. Open phone lines, open topics. Talk about your dating woes. You can see petroglyphs here. Not that the people who made these petroglyphs are the people who potentially made these blocks. I don't know what you guys think about these blocks. Like I said, there's an explanation from geologists geologists talking about freezing and thawing and different various pressures and stuff. But this is sandstone, and there's absolutely, let me see if there's some more interesting parts of this video than right here. My computer is so horribly slow though. I really need to get a new computer, and I really don't want to. But There are some. This is a 23-minute video, and I don't want to play all of it, but there's some really interesting stuff here, and there's nothing in sandstone that would cause it to break so consistently in straight lines. Um, there's some rocks that would do that. Sandstone is not one of them. For it to break in a straight line is pretty normal, but for it to break in such consistent, perfectly parallel and perfectly horizontal lines, there's nothing intrinsic in the sandstone itself that would encourage that. That's purely its environment or man-made. So I don't know. I thought this was pretty fascinating. And like I said, there's a lot of these channels uploading a lot of this stuff. So someone call in, because that's basically all I had for the entire episode. I've got nothing this week. Like I said, I spent all my time preparing for the religion episode, but I'm not fully prepared for that, and I don't want to put out a half-assed version of it. And I didn't put any time into preparing for another episode, so I've got nothing this week. There's CF Apps, which I've mentioned, rest in peace, and I don't believe he ever traveled to any of these sites, but he was a fantastic Google Earth researcher. And, now this newer genre of channel is people doing that and then actually visiting these sites in person or with a drone or both, which I think is pretty cool. All religion ties to Greek, the Hawan comet. That's I don't know the Hawan comet. I don't know the Hawan comet, but all religion ties to Greek. Yeah, that's definitely something I'm going to be talking about in the episode. And yeah. Yeah, right angles, like I said, there's nothing in sandstone that would encourage right angles like that. That is not a stone that should be cracking. Not that it can't crack at a right angle. Straight lines are certainly possible in sandstone. They're pretty common for straight line fractures in sandstone. That's not crazy. And if you watch that full video, you'll just see it's so straight, it's so consistent, there's so many interesting things out there. It's pretty tough for me to accept that that's fully natural. I don't know what you guys think, but yeah, to have such consistently perfectly parallel and horizontal lines, like I said, there's nothing in the sandstone that would encourage that. So that's purely its environmental stresses that applied perfectly parallel and horizontal lines of pressure, or it's man-made. I don't know. The Hawaiian comet Miyamongo. Yeah, Mr. Watson, I don't know the Hawaiian comet. And I don't know what that has to do with the Greeks, especially. But let me repost that. Since I didn't pin it, I can't pin it without reopening the YouTube video, which I could do. But there's the Zoom meeting information. The Giant's Causeway. Are you talking about the land bridge from India to wherever? Or Eric, you need to call in. We've gone over this before. I can't understand your text messages. You're incoherent in text. Okay, there was a comment over Hawaii. All right. Gosh, you're very hard to follow with your comments. I can get you on the calls, but not through especially with the delay. There's a minute delay, and so it's just too much for me. It's just too much. But the only other thing that I might talk about this week, it's not history related at all, But since this is basically a low value mail ripoff episode, on the last low value mail chill sesh, someone called in and asked about how you can avoid the plastics and the chemicals of today since they're so ubiquitous. And I thought I might share some of the methods that I use, because I think it is a really big problem, and I think a lot of people are stuck feeling that it is so everywhere. It is so like unavoidable that like why even try and limit it, because you can't avoid it, so they just kind of give up. They throw their hands up and give up. But there is a lot of stuff you can do to reduce, your. I'm looking for a call from you, Eric. So if you do call in, I'll answer. But to reduce your exposure to chemicals and phytoestrogens and stuff like that, or get a reverse osmosis filter. That's what I've got, a reverse osmosis filter. Even that is not 100% pure water that you're getting out of it, but it's way better than just a charcoal filter. A charcoal filter is way better than nothing, but it really doesn't remove any of the chemicals. It's not removing those phytoestrogens. It's not removing fluoride. It's removing particulates and bacteria. But a reverse osmosis filter is going to remove a hell of a lot more. And distilling your water is going to be pretty good too. You have to replace your reverse osmosis filter occasionally, but and you can re-add minerals to it very, very easily. And if you have a halfway decent diet, you don't need to worry about minerals in your water. You're perfectly fine drinking distilled water, reverse osmosis water, whatever water you want to drink. But yeah, it's very easy to re-add minerals. I have that added to my filter. Another thing is avoid all the plastic in your kitchen. Don't be mixing plastic and heat and food. Like, I have some Tupperware containers with plastic lids, but that's not really in contact with the food. Don't be microwaving things in plastic. That's horrible. It's gonna release all of. It's bad. It's bad. You're basically just gobbling up the gay if you're mixing heat, plastic, and food. Don't do it. Non-stick pans are incredibly toxic, and they've known this forever, and they just sold them to everyone anyways. And they actually finally did take Teflon pans off the market because it's incredibly toxic, but they replaced it with Teflon. They replaced it with just different versions of Teflon. It's all the same. Even the ceramic coated, aluminum pans that you can get for real cheap, these non-stick thin coating pans, incredibly toxic. They're all incredibly toxic. They're all the same thing. Don't use non-stick pans. But I think most people know to avoid plastic with their food, but everyone walks around in synthetic clothing. Like, there have been studies done that wearing synthetic underwear on, that cover your genitals, that's what underwear covers, it can reduce your testosterone a very noticeable percentage. Like, having direct contact with plastic in your balls has a very significant effect on your testosterone. I've never seen a study about synthetic clothing covering your entire body, yet most of the people I see every day are walking around in synthetic clothing covering almost every inch of their body in full plastic. That's going to have way more of an effect than your little underwear that covers like 10% of your body. And then they sleep in synthetic sheets. You are completely wrapped in plastic 24/7, most of you. Maybe not my viewers, I don't know, but most people. Stop that. Wear natural cotton or linen fibers. This viscose stuff, this bamboo fiber, it's not necessarily as natural as it's purported to be. It's basically some plastic made from bamboo. Stick to the cotton, stick to the linen, stick to wool. You know, the things that humans have worn for thousands of years. Leather's good. Um, that's I bet that's very comfortable, Mr. Watson. But yeah, don't wear plastic. It drops your. I'd have to look up the study, but I think it was like 12% or something. Like wearing synthetic underwear drops your testosterone by like 12% or something like that. And that's covering, like I said, like 10% of your body. My dog is throwing a fit. I might need to get up to let him out. I am. I'm gonna have to get up to let him out. I'm sorry. I'll be right back. Come on. Similarly to the plastic clothing, I'm back. People have these synthetic carpets in their house, and that releases a ridiculous amount of just plastic dust into the air all the time. It's not good for you. Get rid of your synthetic carpets. Replace them with natural fibers, or just no carpets at all. I think those are the big ones. There's a bunch of stuff I do. I mean, don't eat processed food, fellas. Avoid the seed oils. Meat, red meat and meat fat are good for you. They're very good for you. Don't avoid them. Eat lots of animal fat. Eat lots of animals. Avoid the seed oils. Stay healthy, fellas. Stay healthy. Drink clean water. You know. Call in. Call in. Someone should call in. It's an open phone lines, open topics night. I haven't had a call for a few weeks, which is cool, but this is the night to call in. This is it. Talk about whatever the hell you want. You want to talk about bad dating, you want to talk about whatever, call in. This is your opportunity, talk about anything. I'm going to scroll up. I've missed a lot of the chat. If I can scroll up. It's not. I guess I can't scroll up. All right, never mind. But yeah, I've already I talked about the one topic related to the channel that I had, and then the one random topic that I just wanted to talk about because someone asked about how to avoid some of this stuff, in their life, because it is everywhere. It is unavoidable. It is unfortunately completely impossible to avoid all of this stuff, but you can do a lot to reduce a lot. Get rid of your synthetic clothing. Get rid of your synthetic sheets and carpets. Definitely don't be using plastic in the kitchen. Definitely don't be using nonstick pans. Drink clean water. Bottled water is not good water. Bottled water is tap water that is sitting in plastic, so it's even worse than tap water, right? It might have been run through a charcoal filter. Don't drink the bottled water. Unless you're in like Flint, Michigan, or New York City, or somewhere that has absolutely horrible tap water, and there's just no other option. Like, you should be able to have filtered water. Get a water bottle. Get a nice steel water bottle. Fill it up with your reverse osmosis or distilled water from home. Be hydrated. Be healthy. I know that's from like a month ago, Mr. Watson. I know you're Scottish. I think everyone knows you're Scottish. But yeah, animal fat is good for you. Animal fat is not bad for you. The obesity epidemic started in America. There's a chart where, people were like normal, and then it just goes like that. And it started at the exact same time that the government came out with their first food recommendations. So previously, people were getting the majority of their calories from animal fat and animal protein with, carbs and other stuff along the way. And then they came out, the government, saying that red meat and animal fat causes heart disease. You need to stop eating red meat. You need to stop eating animal fat. you need to increase your carb intake, and this is what keeps you skinny and healthy. And then everyone started getting fat. Eat your animal fat, eat your animal meat. It's good for you. I hope I didn't. Whatever, I'm just going to leave it like that. Beer in a can, though, is also in plastic. That aluminum is lined with plastic. You're still drinking out of a plastic bottle. It's just in a can, that plastic bottle. So I'd probably not much better, if any. Really try and go, like, don't eat prepared foods. The more prepared your food is, you should be buying whole foods, not the grocery store, but like going to the store and buying single ingredients. This is a steak. This is a potato. This is, a head of lettuce, whatever. Like, you shouldn't be avoid prepared food. And if you can, get it directly from a farmer or farm it yourself. That's really the best option. But yeah, avoid prepared foods, fellas. Beers in cans, still beers in plastic. Someone call in. I'm going to end the episode if no one calls in, because I've told you, I have nothing to talk about, fellas. I've got zip zilch zero this week, so someone give me a call and talk about it. There we go. Mr. Luke, good to see you. All right, let me join the audio on here. I think this is, yeah. No, I've got an echo. I should know how to do this by now, but I don't know. All right, Mr. Luke. I hope you're okay with being on screen, because you are. There, you just connected to audio. I should be able to hear you now.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. This is my voice, internet. Totally calling in about all the health food stuff. So, like I said in the chat, you got to think about just your coffee maker. It's a big fucking plastic vessel that uses electrodes to heat up. Like, it's pretty heinous to have a standard coffee pot if you're serious about plastics. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's direct heat and plastic together, which is, not, you're just slurping up the gay every time you do that. All those phytoestrogens, they're turning the freaking frogs gay, they're turning us gay.
It literally, and it's crazy how much that shit is in everything. Like, in fucking lavender scents, they're like, so fucking using lavender wash products in your clothes or on your skin, that'll fucking turn you gay.
Yeah, you're just absorbing that gayness into you all day through your clothes, especially if they're synthetic clothes with lavender detergent. Oh my goodness. Don't even get me started.
Maximizing the gay. And then, so I'm super into the keto diet within reason, because I can run myself skinny between just my metabolism and how much I work physically. But nonetheless, like, meat-wise, red meat all the way. It's got an awesome nutrition profile. And if you can be snobby and can afford it, try to get natural grass-fed, like free-range beef, not stuff that's fed all the cattle feed.
Closer to organic you can get, the better, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you also got, but the entire organics market is so unregulated, where, for chickens can be free range, but if they step out of their cage, they get shocked. Like, they have an electric pad outside of but they're free range because they're allowed to leave.
Yeah, there's a lot of... In the actual idea of organic and free range, get as close to that as you can, not the store definitions, because yes, there's corruption going on and they misrepresent, and yeah.
Like, ideally, you want to find, like, I'm fortunate where I live, it's fucking farmer country all around. So I literally have a friend who ranches. I have a friend who's got a hobby farm for vegetables, a friend who raises chickens for eggs and all that. Like, and then occasional time going hunting and grabbing elk or red game meat. Got an awesome nutrition profile too.
I mean, venison is delicious. I've never had elk. I'd love to try. Real quick to the chat, is the echo is gone, right? I'm just reading the comments, and I believe it's gone, but just confirm for me. But and yeah, I would love to try elk. Deer is I love it. It's delicious.
Yeah, all game meat. It's gamey. The best tasting, in my opinion, is moose. That'll taste the most similar to beef.
I don't know if you've ever eaten deer heart. I can't, or not deer heart, beef heart. Deer heart too, I guess, but beef heart is what I meant to say. It makes an excellent chili, but it's you know, real nutritionally dense. It's good for you. Lots of B vitamins and stuff.
As a 13-year-old boy, I took a bite of raw deer heart, and that was good enough for me.
Hardcore.
But you have to do it.
Yeah. Your first kill?
Yeah, and then so continuing on health, like being active, sleeping properly, there's like so many simple physiological things a person can do to take care of themselves.
Sunlight, man.
Before they start getting on the SSRIs and fucking all the drugs to fix themselves. It's just crazy, like fixing your sleep, having a proper gut biome, like that type of stuff. But everyone's rushing to be a victim and, just give me a fucking, without, like it's, and it magnifies and it builds on itself. Once you get healthy, you have more energy to be healthier, to participate more in society, to earn more, to, like, yeah, a lot of people just like to sit in their fucking whiny spots and complain all the time, but not actually do anything to fix their lives, so I'm a bit of a hard ass on people about that type of
stuff. So there's still an echo going on. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to figure out that. I'm gonna try that. Let me know if you can still hear him, but without the echo. I might have fixed it, or I might have muted you to the audience. I'm not sure. So
I can hear you still.
But yeah, one of the things that I promote pretty heavily, because it really changed my life for the better, is Knees Over Toes guy on YouTube. He's a rehab specialist who, you know, he works with Olympic athletes, NBA athletes, stuff like that. He wasn't able to dunk in high school, but after 7 knee surgeries now, he can dunk now. So like, he's a knee specialist, but he addresses the entire body, and he really focuses on his base principle is that all of his doctors, all of his physical therapists told him, never go knees over your toes. That's how you hurt yourself. And after 7 surgeries, he goes, well, this isn't working. So what if instead of avoiding that, I get stronger in it? And so he's now applied that same principle to the entire body, and really tries to address issues that come up frequently because of our modern lifestyle. And I think he's done a very good job, and he's fantastic for anyone who just wants to be in overall better shape and better mobility and better physical, you know, functional capability. He's very good at addressing that.
Sedentarism or whatever. People sitting all day is fucking quite something.
Yeah.
Couldn't imagine. Like, I work as a carpenter outside all day, every day, carrying and sledgehammering things, and I love it. It's literally like Lego and Minecraft combined with the jungle gym, so. And then when you're angry, when you get to smash things with a sledgehammer, that's sick.
I'm not sure what you're looking at out there, but but yeah, no, I also have a physical job, so it's, yeah.
Oh, you can see me, hey? Side-eyeing the neighbors walking past.
Yeah, everyone's watching you. I messed up the Zoom meeting right before you called, so you're the only one on screen. I hope that's okay.
Yeah, that's no problem. This is what I look like, internet.
Yeah, you look good, no homo, you know.
No homo. Yep. I like my Adidas track jackets. Got a whole closet full of them.
Very Slavic.
Oh yeah, like literally, I go outside and I just slab squat, side-eyeing all my neighbors walking past. It's a good time. Bunch of bliats they are.
Well, yeah, man. Do you have any other health advice, or? I think sunlight is a really big one.
Yeah, the whole vitamin D thing. A YouTuber that I follow for a lot of health stuff, his name is Dr. Eric Berg.
Yeah, I'm familiar with him.
Yeah, he's a huge keto proponent, and then just everything else. Oh, supplements. Like, making sure you have all your vitamins.
Yeah, what's your list? What's your stack?
We can actually show everybody, I guess.
I've got a pretty small stack, but I think it's because I've whittled it down to, the really noticeable, effective ones.
Gotta take the D, B100, so this is like 100 milligrams of every type of B product.
Okay.
Will literally turn your urine fluorescent yellow. It's not kidney failure, it's the riboflavin. Biotin for hair growth, because I don't want to fucking be a bald loser someday.
I need some of that, man.
Multivitamin, just to get everything. Apple cider vinegar for proper stomach acid for digesting things. Iron helps us play.
Iron, interesting. Have you had your iron checked, or you just take it?
I just take it because it's good for hair growth too, and I already eat beef 6-7 days a night or a week, I guess. Sorry, fucking retarded. But I just take it anyways. Sometimes I have fucking iron fucking shits where you can it smells like fucking iron shavings, but whatever.
Yeah, iron can be pretty inflammatory if you have too much of it in your system. So I don't take any iron supplements, but
Glucosamine for all the joints and all that, and then fish oil, all the omega-3s and brain stuff. Still going. Magnesium helps you sleep. L-theanine, another sleep. So those two are my sleep stack. And then
collagen. Any vitamin C to go with your collagen? Did you already flash that one? I might have missed it.
That I get in my multivitamin.
Okay.
And then depending on my fitness cycle, I'll either take ashwagandha or creatine.
Creatine is one of those ones that has a very noticeable effect.
Yeah, I've been scrawny fuck my whole life, and I know it's heinous on your kidneys, but just for the gains, it's so worth it for me.
Yeah, it does make a difference.
Yeah, for a lot of things I find.
So I have a much smaller stack, but one of the things that I have that I didn't see in yours is zinc. You don't take any zinc?
No, I just haven't ordered it yet.
It also
on my list of fucking sucks.
It also helps with hair growth. And I actually noticed very much I was starting to thin in the back, and I still am a bit thin, but I think it's not only stopped, but is actually starting to regrow, and I didn't do anything other than add zinc to my supplements. So yeah, that was pretty cool.
I'll get on that.
And it increases your testosterone, so it's double whammy.
Not gonna lie, turning 30 and starting to see my hair thin was fucking that was hard. And then instantly I started looking at for years was fucking other men's hairlines and where they're at in their receding. Never thought about it before until it started happening to me.
Yeah, I shave my head pretty often, so I was like, I don't care if I go bald, and then I noticed it starting to thin. I was like, oh, I kind of care now.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no.
I don't want to get to the part where I'm fucking finestastriding it and fucking microblading it or whatever. That sounds really painful.
Yeah,
Let alone the fucking Turkish hair transplant.
I'm not rubbing any chemicals on me.
I'll fucking do it if I get that bad. I don't want to be bald. It sucks.
I'll totally shave my head before I rub any chemicals on it. I'm not You know, I'll take my zinc and do what I can. You know, get some sunlight, see if that helps. But I'm not fucking with the chemicals.
Fuck. I'd even try a goddamn toupee, I think.
I prefer my testosterone over my hair.
It's just, I kind of have this, like, runic tattoo in the back of my head. I can't really shave it, because then it offends people, so.
You got a swastika on the back of your neck?
I didn't say that.
The black sun? It is the black sun.
That's useful for when you're in prison, right?
Yeah, keep you safe. No. What you petting there?
I have 2 long coat chihuahuas. That's Max. And then that's Molly.
Okay.
I know they're...
One more health thing. Don't get vaccines, fellas. And the thing that first turned me anti-vax was this massive veterinarian petition. They, from all 50 states, were petitioning the federal government to change the law because legally they have to inject every single dog with the exact same dosage of vaccine. So that 150 plus pound Mastiff or Borbal that's getting a shot that's appropriately dosed for them is also the exact same shot that your 5-pound Chihuahua gets and is getting dosed at, dozens the rate of this massive dog. And so they frequently have seizures and die. Smaller dogs have massive rates of cancer. Like, these vets were seeing the consequences directly in front of their eyes of overdosing these little dogs with vaccines. But if that's what is happening to these dogs, babies are getting several shots at once as an infant. Like, it's not good for you either. Obviously, overdosing on them is worse, but, I don't think you should be messing with vaccines. They seem to have some pretty bad effects. I almost died from one as a teenager. It stopped my heart. They put the paddles on me. They didn't use them, but they had them charged and on my chest. Wasn't fun, so stay away from those fellas.
My hot take is whatever happened to fucking Darwinism, and just look at what's happening to humanity, constantly catering to the lowest common denominator.
Yeah.
Fuck. It's just getting stupid.
Now if you get hit by a train after climbing over the fence with warnings to not climb it because there's trains, you still get to sue. And win. That's the level of coddling that we're at. And, you need to just let people die sometimes, unfortunately. That's
law of the land up here is if someone breaks onto my job site, like a criminal stealing tools, if he trips and hurts himself, I'm liable.
Yeah, that's crazy. By the way, the meeting is ending in 1 minute and 10 seconds, so if I hang up on you, it's just because I am too cheap to pay for Zoom.
Yeah, that's no problem. It's been a good time.
Yeah, thanks for calling in.
Call in. Yeah, no problem. I watch enough. Eventually I'm going to call into Low Value Mail. I just don't really have much advice for fucking Pablo or Scarboni. I would say they should raise their age limit on their dating apps. There's plenty of older women that...
They're all married and looking for, to cuckold their husband. That's what all the older women on the dating apps are. Yeah. You're into that, I see.
No, I literally just had one of those situations this weekend where it was a 40-year-old woman, and then she's like, "You mind if my husband watches?" And I was like, "Oh."
Did you do it?
No. That's next weekend, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. And then same with Scarboni is
Yeah, knew it was coming. There it is. So, if anyone else wants to call in, by the way, there's no limit to call-ins. You can potentially call in. Well, that's not even the right link. I just posted the wrong link. But yeah, we can have I'm sure there's a limit at some point, but there's multiple callers that you can you can do. So I don't know if I'm gonna be able to. I should be able to rejoin because I just restarted the Zoom meeting actually without the echo. So I need to join the audio on my phone rather than on my computer, so there's no echo, but the guest can still hear me in order to make this work properly. It's very specific, the steps you got to take to make it all work. All right. You can see my beautiful face again here in just a second. There we are. And the link, which I think I posted right there, but gonna repost again. Feel free to call in. Google Meet is free and better than Zoom, by the way. Yeah, I might try that. I don't really know what I'm doing here as far as managing a YouTube stream, if you couldn't tell that. Pretty much winging it with the most low value way possible. So, Mr. Flimmets, good to see you here. And you, thank you for the advice. You might be new. I don't remember seeing N in here. I didn't know there were any N's that watched my show. But yeah, feel free to call in. I wish I could scroll up through the chat, but I can't on here. Today, I've definitely scrolled up through the chat previously. It just doesn't want to let me today. Is that okay? There we go. There we go. But yeah, if no one else does want to call in, I'll end it here shortly because I've got nothing else for you folks. Not until next week. Hopefully next week I'll be prepared for the religion episode. It's something that I've been looking forward to and talking about from I think the very first episode. But I do want it to be a decent one, and so I want to be prepared for it. This week was just very, very busy. And as I've I thought I had my ideas formed, and I was just going to go back and solidify some of the details and put the episode together. And then I start digging into some of the details, and I'm like, oh man, this kind of changes things a little bit. And then I go even deeper, and so it's like I'm going back down the religion rabbit hole. And so I don't know. It might not even be next week. I'm hoping. But full Greek, it's not full Greek. There's pre-Greek even, I think is there is a definite shift during the Greeks though, which does pretty much influence everything else after. But there's everything that led up to the Greeks, and I think that's probably even more important actually. Understanding that shift is important because you need to understand what's before it. If you don't even understand the shift occurred, you think that's just the way it's always been, which is how most people think about it, But I'm not getting into that this week. That's hopefully next week. I agree with you about the heavy cream. I also am lactose intolerant, so I can't really drink milk, but heavy cream's pretty much fine. I mean, I don't drink it, but I put it in my coffee. I top desserts with it sometimes. It doesn't bother me because it's mostly just the fat, which is fine. Mr. Slav, good to see you too. Feel free to call in, fellas. Here is the link to the Zoom meeting. Yeah, I haven't watched the interview. I need to. I want to. Did he talk about Tartaria? Because I know that's something he has talked about. But yeah, I feel like the fact that you have iron shits is probably not a great sign that you need more iron in your diet. You know what I'm saying? So it's pretty very, very inflammatory. and rough on the body if you have too much of it, and you're not a woman who has, her period every month. So you probably, and you eat beef 6 to 7 times a week, you probably don't have too little of it. So at least get yourself tested. You can get a cheap blood test for your iron. It's very simple, and that'll tell you, hey, and then if you are low, yeah, go ahead and sup, but yeah, Natty is brutal. Look into the archaeoastronomy. Yeah, what do you mean? Just alignments with buildings and stuff? Because there's so many claims about that, and I don't know how the veracity of most, pretty much all of those claims. But yeah, what do you mean by the archaeoastronomy? Is that just celestial alignments with buildings on the ground to constellations? Yeah, Slav, call in. It's good to see you here, Slav. No, never mind. But it's good to see you here, Slav. He did talk about Tartaria. Yeah, so I kind of thought maybe he would actually. I'm kind of glad I definitely need to check it out now. I'd be very curious to see what he said. I've seen family book or images of. I haven't seen them in person, but I have seen photographs of family books and photographs of the pages, and that do describe a different history, a Tartarian history, that have been passed down through families supposedly for a few hundred years. And yeah, I don't know. It's definitely interesting, and it's really intriguing how you can find a pretty solid amount of evidence for like multiple different totally separate histories existing at the exact same time, like totally parallel realities, kind of like what we have now. Right now, you have groups of people living in completely separate realities from other groups of people, like on the same street. Your neighbor is in a totally different reality than you are. He's right, like politically and even beyond politically, like just in two totally different realities. That exists now, and it seems like that kind of thing has kind of existed throughout all of history, just two totally different realities somehow coexisting with each other, because there's evidence for all kinds of wacky shit out there. So yeah, it's definitely lower in lactose because it's only the solids. It doesn't have the milk liquids in it, which have the lactose in them. All right, fellas, if no one's calling in, I'll post it one last time, but if no one's calling in, I'm going to end the episode. It's been a good, it's almost been an hour, so whatever. I'm ending 10 minutes early, but I'll give it 2 more minutes. And yeah, my came with the house, and I actually don't hate it. It's much oranger in person than on this camera. It's much more orange. But yeah. I don't know how much weight I put into the archaeoastronomy, because I don't know how true it is. These constellations move, especially when they're like 50,000 years, these massive time spans. Like the constellations aren't even the same shape 50,000 years ago, and so to try and say that things aligned up then and there and perfect, like, I don't know how much weight I put in that. I can't confirm it myself. That's where I'm at with it, is I can't confirm that myself. So I don't know if any of it's true. but some of it's interesting. Switch to live chat. What do you mean switch to live chat? I don't know what that means. Yeah, it was no, I'm not a fan, but I think the previous owners this was a football team that they were the Rams or whatever. I don't know my colors. I guess the sun shines on a lot of stuff. But all right, fellas, it was good. Thanks for the call, Mr. Morin. That was a good chat, and I'll catch you next week again. Hopefully I'll have the religion episode done. I'll try and bring you something at the very least. If I'm not quite ready for that, I'll try and have something else prepared so it's not just this again. But this is what you get this week. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in.